poppin' gamers? So, in my last video I explained the 7 planes of the Dotaverse, and the 5th one, according to my theory, is the elemental plane, where you find the deities of the Dotaverse such as the Greco-Roman gods and the Celestials. Today we are going to talk about the Celestials, the godly kind of beings that fathered Brewmaster, fought Thunderkeg, resurrected the warrior poet and brought the jade statue to life. So let's start by talking about what all of them have in common and then go through them each one by one, and in the process maybe discover something about Grimmstroke and Spiritbreaker. So, a Celestial is a divine spirit that has power over a certain element. The elements we know of are fire, earth, storm, and void. Unlike the typical fire, earth, air, and water from IRL that we are used to, or at least me, in the Dotaverse, air and water are combined as storm, and instead the 4th element is void. Void might also be the 5th element Aristotle added IRL, void or space. In India you also have the same 5th element, void. The Chinese elements also come in 5 but are a bit different. Fire, earth, water, wood, and metal. So while the element symbols we see in Brewmaster's ability icons may have a Chinese link, I think it's a bit unlikely since both the elements and the symbols are very different. IRL, the word celestial, means something that is in the sky or in outer space. It could be literally up in the air, or more divinely up in heaven. It often has a good, holy, positive association with it. Things we describe as celestial includes angels, stars, planets, and most importantly, spirits. So both otherworldly as in supernatural, but also as in literally outside Earth. It is unknown in the Dota lore if there's only one celestial for each element, or if there's like an entire civilization of different people with like a bunch of characters and families that all have the same element, multiple for each element, and we don't know if there's more elements than the 4 we know of either. But we do know that other than Void, Earth, Ember, and Storm Spirit, there is a 5th Celestial that fathered Brewmaster, and that's our cue to talk about Brewmaster. Manjix the Brewmaster, just like all the spirits, is from the Wailing Mountains, more specifically from the valley beneath the ruined city. There, the ancient Order of Oyo has for centuries practiced rituals using alcohol in order to get in touch with the spirit realm. Manjix's mother is likely of the red panda anthropomorphic kind that makes up the Order of Oyo, but his father is a celestial. So Manjix grew up with celestial spirit blood in his veins in a culture dedicated to drinking in order to get in touch with the spirit plane. This mix likely synergized well because he would go up to eventually become the Brewmaster, the most respected and honored position you could achieve in the Order of Oyo. Since becoming Brewmaster, he has ventured out in the world in order to, through drunkenness, achieve enlightenment, and maybe one day think the single right thought that can undo this schism. This is very cool and all, but what's really interesting about Manjix is the fact that he calls the Spirit Brothers, Ember, Earth, and Storm, his cousins, and talks to them about common ancestors. So Brewmaster's father is very likely not one of the known Celestials, and is probably just one we have never heard of otherwise. This strengthens the belief that the Celestials are an entire people, and not just the 4 Spirit Brothers. Brewmaster's father may have power over 3 elements instead of just 1, since Manjix himself controls both storm, earth, and fire when he ults. Kaolin the Earth Spirit is from Upland. There, a statue of the great general Kaolin had been carved into some jade in the mountain. What the craftsmen were unaware of, though, was that the spirit of the earth flowed through the jade, and when cut off into this figurine, it became sentient as the earth spirit. He has taken on the role of protecting not just the mineral parts of the earth, but also life itself. Weirdly, Grimmstroke hates Earth Spirit. Monkey King also is not a fan, but that is probably just simply because the Spirit Brothers punished him when he cheated death by ripping out his page in the Book of the Dead. Both Grimmstroke and Monkey King has voice lines for all 3 Spirit Brothers talking smack to them. Grimmstroke's past with the spirits is very debated, and there is a lot of theories, because in his teaser we see both Ember and what may be Void Spirit when he talks about his teachers. What exactly happened? We don't know. Sin the Ember Spirit is from the Fortress of Flares. Centuries ago, the warrior poet Sin had taught his acolytes there, both their bodies and souls. But even he got older and his enemies bolder, and eventually a rival killed him. His ashes would rest in a topaz cauldron for centuries. Though, no matter how much time passed, the descendants of his followers still didn't forget about his teachings. The burning celestial spirit of fire took notice of the enduring legacy and cast himself into the cauldron containing the warrior poet's ashes. They reignited, and from them sprung the Ember Spirit. Rage and Thunderkeg the Storm Spirit is from the plains beyond the Wailing Mountains, where Ember Spirit willingly breathed life into Sin and Earth Spirit indifferently just became one with Kowlin. The Storm Spirit did not consent at all to being bound to the Terrene plane. Thunderkeg was an elementalist from a people starving from a drought, and in order to help them, summoned Raijin, the spirit of the storm. Thunderkeg hoped the Celestial could bring his people rain so they could be saved from starvation, but the spirit instead took to rage and destroyed the land using harsh winds and floods. Raijin was much stronger than the elementalist, but as a last resort, Thunderkeg cast a last spell at the cost of his own life. He captured the Celestial in his own body, and thus the chaotic but jovial Storm Spirit was tragically born. Okay, so there is one more spirit brother that we are going to talk about, the Void Spirit. But before that, we first need to address the heroes that gives us clues about who he is. Monkey King, Spirit Breaker, and Grimmstroke. Monkey King only gives us a hint in one of his comics, where we can see the 4 spirit brothers sentencing him to burn in the eternal furnace. This is the only example where we see all 4 spirit brothers present at the same time. The way they together combine their forces to fight and punish the Monkey King makes me think that maybe they are some kind of royalty among the Celestials, or guardians, or teachers. At the very least, they are some sort of lawmakers and upholders, and they possess some authority in the Dotaverse. Maybe they are even so powerful that they have servants and followers, such as Spirit Breaker? Spirit Breaker is himself a lordly and powerful being who can travel between planes, much like the Spirit Brothers have done, both when Earth Spirit became sentient, when Storm was summoned, and because Brewmaster says that when they die, they go to the Spirit Plane. But what if this Spirit Plane is known by a different name, and no, not the Astral Plane, where one would assume spirits go? Because the Celestials aren't mere spirits, they are divine and elemental. Their powers are dedicated to each their element, and they are known as guardians and leaders and teachers. What if this plane is the same plane that Spirit Breaker is protecting, the elemental plane? Spirit Breaker has joined the conflicts of the Terrene plane because his home plane, the elemental realm, will eventually fall prey to the same danger that is affecting the Terrene one. What if this is not the Battle of the Ancients, but instead the Outlanders? We also learn that Spirit Breaker serves a master, and if the Spirit Brothers are the top authority of the elemental plane, then only they could be candidates to who may be the lords of the lordly being Baratheon. But we know that his master is unknown, and he doesn't give off any indication that either of the 3 original Spirit Brothers are above him. This was very uninteresting and probably didn't mean anything for any other heroes, until Grimmstroke came out. So recently, with new heroes like Grimmstroke and Mars, and new cosmetics like Earthshaker's Planetfall, Axe Unleashed, and Kid Invoker, we learn that there's anticipation surrounding this coming threat that is the Outlanders, as well as the Void Spirit, who is very wise and powerful. Both the Void Spirit and the Outlanders are rumored, and not a whole lot of things are very concrete yet with what little we have. And that is why these 2 voice lines from Grimmstroke to Spirit Breaker is so perfect.
What made you choose this realm, Spirit Breaker? Some dark purpose? Tell me more about this master of yours, Bara. I've found nothing but rumors.
So maybe Spirit Breaker didn't come for the Battle of the Ancients, but instead the Outlanders event? And what if the Master is the one who coincidentally also will be helping out the Void Spirit? We will not know his deal until he comes out, which hopefully is soon, but let's cover the little things we do know. First of all, we know for a fact that the other spirits are his brothers. He says so in the teaser. We also know they have wanted Void Spirit to join them for a long time, but he has preferred to stay in his spirit/void/elemental plane and not the mortal plane, which I'm assuming is the Terrene one. That's because he is able to see everything from the void, so he prefers to stay there where he can watch clearly. If this is indeed the same plane as the one Spirit Breaker is from, the Terrene plane is only its shadow, and the void is the real deal. But now he must join his brothers. He talks about a coming confluence, which means 2 rivers meeting. So a merging of 2 things and Outlanders. Is this the ancient battle he is joining, or is it something else? After this point, there is a lot of theories, but all of it lacks evidence. So when he is out, check the top right corner for my video about him in detail. So that's it for the Celestials, aka the Spirit Brothers. I will of course make individual hero lore videos about all of them for all the details, since this video is only meant to cover the basics. Next up is Brewmaster and then Earth Spirit. Just letting you know that on my lore website, which is called dotaverse.net, which of course is still not finished at all, I'm slowly building it up, but you can always on the front page, if you scroll down a little bit, see all my upcoming videos, which are usually just going alphabetic through the list and then adding necessary videos before that I will use to build up the next video, if that makes sense. But also on my Patreon, if you pledge $10 or more per month, you can decide my next hero lore video. So I will also add that in there, and like special occasions like when the new fall update comes out and Artifact 2.0 will come out. It will happen. Underlord Season 1, whatever new big things happen, they will of course be prioritized. And since it's Halloween, spooky videos. So check out dotaverse.net if you're curious about what videos are coming up. Thank you so much for watching and hope you have a wonderful day.